what I can do, where I can invest. Because as we said, right, it's the second best time is today.
So basically, there are three kinds of journaling that I like. The first one is called free flow journaling. The second is a question answer, a cued journaling. And the third is a future manifestation style of journaling.
You really need to stabilize your spine even when you're breathing.
Yes.
And that is so subconscious that we don't think about it.
Hello and welcome to the Compounding Mindset by Axis Mutual Fund. I'm Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach, and we are back with a very exciting format. Now, it's just not me talking. We have a partner in crime that's going to be joining us. Paridhi Doshi is going to be joining us on the Compounding Mindset.
Hello, everyone. Super excited to be here. I'm a movement and fitness coach, and I do believe that your mindset shows up in your body, your habits, and your choices.
So we're going to be talking about habits and how they compound and how they grow. So today's, I think, topic is going to be fairly interesting because, we always think about what are the habits that we could have and should have started earlier. And today, that's what the topic is about. Habits that we wish we had started earlier and what has happened with that. So, Paridhi, do you have like a journey that you followed in your life where, you have a habit that you wish you had done years ago and have started doing recently?
I feel like so many of them, but if I have to actually pick like two really, really important ones, I think one on just the physical realm of things would definitely be paying a lot more detailed attention to training and dedicated time and effort to small muscle groups and stabilizing muscles and joints like knees, ankles, a lot of core activations, a lot of glute activations. Because even though I did them as a part of my routine over the past 2 years, I think it became overtly exposed when I started playing sports and everything just started hurting. Is when I realized that bits and pieces of this is not going to work. This should have been making the foundation when I actually started strength training 10 years ago. And if I have to pick one, I feel like on just like an emotional and mental side of things, it would definitely be journaling.
So let's break this down. So because, you're talking about like the foundations of movement.
Yeah.
And I think when we talk about habits that we wish we started, we always pick up all those high intensity habits because, we believe that we have to go hard or go home, like the ones that are muscle building or strength oriented. But like you said, it's the little foundation ones that actually compound and grow. Now, very often these are the ones that are boring.
So
right?
boring.
When we do these exercises in my gym as well, it's like, what exercise are you doing? Oh, we're going to do the boring exercise for 5 minutes before we start anything else. What happened when you did not do this foundation exercises?
I mean, even though they made like a small part of my routine, I feel like if you don't do them day in and day out and treat them like as the sprinkles and not really like the main base of your ice cream, it just tends to reach like a tipping point because it accumulates. All this delayed action results in a whole bunch of accumulated inaction, and then you tip over, and then there's an injury. An injury that you thought wouldn't even exist in the first place, but it just turns out to be that it's right there, nagging at you because you didn't pay attention to these small, tiny, consistent efforts that you should have been putting in the first place.
It's that injury that really throws everything for a toss.
100% it does, right? Because I mean, we all love doing what we do, which is why we show up every day. And then suddenly there's this space where you'll be like, oh, gotta sit on the sidelines and recalibrate a lot of things and be like, oh, should have started this a whole lot earlier. And I'm sure you might also have something both in your fitness journey as well, because I know you've been so diligent for so long. What has it been for you?
So for me, the habit fitness-wise that I wish I'd started ages ago was probably walking. So, you get into this whole fitness world and you're like, all right, I'm going to do Tabata workouts and 4-minute workouts, high intensity. And then you think people are going for a walk and you see people walking on Carter Road or you see people walking and you're wondering like, why are they walking? What is the benefit of this? And I never got it. And I never walked for, I think, 15 years of my physical working out life. It's only recently that I started seeing the beauty of walking. It is low impact, so you don't get hurt, you don't get injured, and what I found about walking that's the best is that you can always do something along with walking. You can meet a friend, you can have a conversation, you can listen to a podcast like this. And what happens is that it is not just one habit that's happening, you can actually add multiple habits on top of that. And we all love the idea of putting more things together. Right? When we think about compounding and we think about growing, the more things you can do at the same time, I think that's the better way of growth in itself. So for me, walking physically was one of the big ones that I figured out. And there were two parts to walking. The first thing I realized was that I don't enjoy the power walking. Power walking became a very big thing a few years ago.
Yeah.
Everyone was power walking. I said that I realized that a slow walk was far harder to do than a fast walk. And when I mean by a slow walk, I mean, imagine if you're walking with a 4-year-old, how slowly they walk with you. So now every time I walk with my friends, they absolutely curse me because they're like, why can't we speed up? And I was like, you just trust the process. And by the 30th minute, they're all tired and they're like, I have not been this tired in my life while walking. I was like, exactly. Because when you're walking slowly, you're using your foundation muscles,
Muscles, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which is exactly what you're saying.
Exactly.
And those are the muscles that get tired first. So
Yeah.
walking for me was one of those things. What are your thoughts on walking? Do you like walking?
I think after this conversation, I might just start walking because it's the same thing, right? It's just so slow and so deliberate that a lot of times we might just do something that's a lot more fancier and a lot more faster. And you'll be like, I might just go for a small jog rather. I swear I'll just jog at like 10 minutes per kilometer, but no walking. But I think I'm still there and I'm still trying to figure out how to get habituated to that.
So when you are teaching your clients, right, when you're training your clients, and you train clients primarily with regards to a full workout, say a 1 hour workout, how much of that time would you dedicate to these foundation, these mini exercises that is going to improve the client's life over the big lifts?
At least 25 to 30 minutes. That's pretty much half of their workout. So I think we definitely do the big things as well. But having learned through injuries and through experience and all of it, I think I now truly, truly understand that how imperative it is to do them. So we definitely spend at least like 20 to 25 minutes having to do that for sure.
And this at the start of the workout, end of the
It's
workout,
spread throughout the
sprinkle through
workout,
it.
sprinkled through it, small bits and pieces. It's like giving somebody just enough bit of a chocolate and be like, hey, you got to do that as well. So it's sprinkled through the workout, 100%.
The foundation exercise, not the chocolate for sure.
Just the foundation exercise, the chocolate, not for sure.
So you were saying that there is this part of you which is the physical exercise that you thought that you
Yeah.
wished you had started earlier.
Yeah.
Then you mentioned another one,
Yeah,
journaling.
journaling, yeah, because it's something that I've just started. And the way, and again, I don't have like a complete, okay, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do. I just keep, again, shuffling through it. It's get on the bandwagon, fall off the bandwagon still for me. But every time I do it, I see the benefits for it, right? Just having that room to process, seeing those tiny things, those tiny habits that you're actually doing day in and day out and don't really catch yourself doing it. Because again, it's boring and it's tough and it's demanding to sit down, think through it, and improve through it. So I'm still in that process of what sort of journaling I would like to do. But this is definitely something that I've picked up um, over the year and I've been trying to stay consistent. And I know that you have been doing this for a very long time. How has that journey panned out for you?
So I started journaling ages ago. When I started, at that point of time, journaling wasn't such a fanciful thing. It was something that was fairly fringe. So there weren't any of these journals that you see now with questions and beautiful designs on them. So at that point of time, it was a purely need-based thing. My mind was so overwhelmed with thoughts that I couldn't understand and I couldn't think clearly. And I was trying to figure out what I could do about that. And in fact, wrote poems on why my mind is feeling so cluttered till I discovered journaling. And a particular kind of journaling is called free flow journaling. It's very simple. All you do is you set an alarm for 10 minutes. If 10 minutes is too hard, start small. You know how we talk about compounding and growing with the way you do it. So you start small, start with 5 minutes. But what you do in those 5 minutes is you just write. What do you write? Anything that comes to your mind. It's not that this is going to be played on the radio or your work is going to be published. You can tear it up and throw it away. But you start writing whatever thoughts are going through your mind. Oh, I'm holding a pencil after so long. The last time I held a pencil was in college. In college, I remember this one time this thing happened. And you suddenly realize that you start processing old memories. You start processing old ideas. And within a week, you start feeling different. Within a month, your entire mind is starting to feel clear because all those thoughts that you weren't allowing yourself to think are now out on paper. And as soon as they're out on paper, your mind has stopped thinking about them. So it's such a cathartic experience where all these thoughts that had been troubling you and you hadn't realized they were troubling you because they were just lurking under the surface, those have come out. And there is once again this peace of mind that exists. So free flow journaling is something that is very, very beautiful. Have you ever tried free flow journaling?
I think so. That's where I am right now. Like small, and as you said, right, like just setting small, tiny timers is also something that I've done. Just like 2 minutes, 2 lines, one word. Just put it out there and just do it consistently every single day. I think it's that aspect of journaling that, and of anything, in fact, even that aspect of doing rehab stuff or prehab things of journaling, that small, consistent word, a sentence, or a phrase, I think that is where catharsis lies for me. Just going back to it and figuring it out like every single day.
Yeah. And I think there are so many different forms of journaling. Let me also give you an idea of how it's so interesting how journaling has almost a physical release. So I had a client come to me and she was passing through something, in her life. And I said, why don't you try this free flow journaling? There was lots of stuff in her mind that she hadn't processed. I could clearly see that. So she sat down, she started writing. I went and checked in on her after 15 minutes and she said, Ashdin, this is fantastic. Can you give me 15 more minutes? So I said, sure, take 15 more minutes. She wrote for 30 minutes total. And when she came out, she's saying, Ashdin, I'm feeling so light. I had this pain in my shoulder that has disappeared. And it was so interesting how she had been holding that pain in her shoulder. And once the thoughts went away, that pain almost disappeared. So it's interesting how to see I dare call it magic, but the way in which journaling has helped people, it's amazing. There's another way of journaling also, which is allowing journaling to help you plan for your future. Have you ever done that?
Yes, that's my to-do list in the morning.
That's not called journaling. To-do lists
Okay,
are,
like let's not call it a to-do list, but it's
and you
about
finish your to-do list. Otherwise, it's called a wish list.
that is true, but I do finish the to-do list. But I'm not sure like how rigid the format or the structure is, but it's about setting small goals and then backtracking it from there, at least for me, as to what can I do in the present time and how can I invest my time and my energy in that present time so that it eventually compounds to that goal that I've set for myself maybe a month down the line or 2 months down the line. I think that's the way I do it.
Fantastic.
I'm not sure how it actually truly works. How is it that you do it?
No, exactly the same way. You first write down the destination that you want to go to, right? Where your goals are. And you start coming down, even financially, you
Correct.
figure out where it is that you want to plan your life. And then you work backwards and say, okay, if I have to do this, this is the amount I need to start investing from now onwards. Because just like we're talking about habits and how habits compound, money compounds as well.
100%.
You need to figure out where are the right places to invest it and figure out how you then start tracking that process. And since we're talking about, the subject of habits, I wish we had started earlier. Investing is exactly like that. The best time to have started investing was 20 years ago.
100%.
The second best time to start investing is right now.
If my dad would be listening in to this, he's going to be say like right now. Open your bank account and put one right now.
Whatever money you have in your pocket, quickly go and invest currently.
100%. I'm going to say, Dad, please fund that too.
But that's the way it is, right? You look at these little things and you're saying, I wish I had started earlier. And why live in regret? The same way that you spoke about injuries.
Yeah.
That was a physical injury.
Yeah.
Not starting investing early in life is a financial injury.
100%.
And we don't need these things in our life.
Not at all.
Best start early and then take it
Yeah.
from there.
Yeah.
Okay, I have an interesting question for you. What are habits that you wish you could start? You haven't started yet. You want to start for the future,
Yeah.
and you've been like, maybe later, maybe later, maybe later, and dilly dallying on.
Right now, definitely one of it is having a lot of financial awareness and financial knowledge about a lot of things, because I think it's such a murky ground. And I mean, at my age, hundreds of people are telling me what to do and where to go and, "Oh, listen to this, do that, put your money here, put your money there." And I think that's something that I have been delaying in terms of getting to know for myself as to what I can do, where I can invest. Because as we said, right, it's the second best time is today. And I feel like I'm still dilly dallying with it. So that's definitely something that I feel that I need to start in terms of gathering that awareness, gathering that knowledge day on day, and not only compounding the financial assets or the financial aspects of investing, but also just the knowledge of it so that it can pay off when it really needs to pay off in the future.
Yeah. And it's so difficult to find the right kind of knowledge on these matters right now, because even in the physical wellness space, mental wellness space, there's just so much noise now being generated financially, so much noise being generated that we have to be very careful who we listen to, what we listen to.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things is, people come and say, oh, they say you must do this, or they say must have, fresh lime water in the morning with a spoon of honey. And I was like, who are these they? Who are you listening to? Is it a magazine? Is it a
Yeah.
WhatsApp forward
Yeah.
that falls into WhatsApp University?
100%.
So you have to figure out where you're getting your information from and how you're actually
Yeah.
using this.
And credible sources. I feel that that's the first thing that my college taught me, is that if you're going to put something out from the internet, you better give me a credible source. And the first link is not a credible source. So please do your research on it.
So what's interesting is that for me, a habit that I want to start is actually a physical wellness habit, which is stretching and flexibility. I just don't do that. You have to guide me on how do I make this a little bit of something that I can do, because forget chocolate, it's not even a sprinkle in the top.
It's more like of a tiny zest right now.
Right now, it's nothing. It's
Nothing.
right now, it's workout done, wear your shoes and socks and leave the gym.
My God. No. So again, doesn't have to be super big. Pick 3 things and just do that for 30 seconds each. It, again, does not have to be super big, because that's the beauty about compounding. You just got to do it every single day. So if you, let's say, decide, okay, I'm going to do stretching pose 1, stretching pose 2, stretching pose 3, 30 seconds each, great. Next day, you don't even have to increase it. Just do the same thing 30 seconds each. And trust me, by the end of that week, you're going to feel a whole lot better in just those 3 things.
So it's good. So I don't have to do a full 7-minute routine.
You don't.
You're just saying take 3 stretches and then just at least stick to those 3 stretches.
Correct. And once you actually see the benefit pay off, you would automatically want to do more. But the sticky point is everybody thinking, oh, I have to do so much. Oh, I have to spend so much time, 20-minute elaborate stretching routine.
It's uncomfortable.
And also super uncomfortable. It's like, no, give yourself 5 minutes and talk to somebody in those 5 minutes, right? Like, I think a physical space, especially a gym or a studio, is a great space to just get to know people as well, right? Use those 5 minutes to either answer your emails, talk to somebody, because you're not really doing something that's heart rate heavy. You're anyways
Fair.
doing something that's boring.
Correct.
You might as well use that time to make it a little less boring. But no, it doesn't have to be elaborate. It just has to be consistent day in and day out. That's all.
So it's interesting. So don't think of it with the intensity of a workout.
Yeah.
Listen to a podcast, listen to something, talk to somebody, and stretch along with that.
Yeah.
And it's just like the walking bit.
It's just literally like the walking bit.
For me, the exciting part was listening to the audiobook that I was listening to, and not necessarily the walking.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Pretty much that.
So you're talking about foundation exercises. What are 3 foundation exercises you think everyone should be doing, especially the listeners of this podcast?
Okay, so definitely everything and anything to do with core strengthening and core stabilizing, because even walking requires it.
Hmm.
Like, it's funny, like, people don't think about it, but you really need to stabilize your spine even when you're breathing.
Yes.
And that is so subconscious that we don't think about it. But that's something that we need to learn to be able to do it correctly. Like right now, when I'm talking to you, I'm actually supposed to be bracing and engaging because that's literally how we function. So I think just generating the awareness of what stabilizing your core, strengthening your core means, and then actually being able to apply it would definitely be one of the major things that people truly miss out on.
Like doing a plank or doing a
Doing a
particular
plank,
kind of exercise?
I think doing a plank, yes, but also more so when it comes to actually applying it. Like, we barely live a life in a plank position, right? A life would be picking
Very
something up
difficult if we lived our life in a
like
plank
that.
position.
It would be the longest life lived, like painfully so. It's different things like picking things from the ground and getting it overhead, actually holding your grocery bags and walking through. Like, all of those things require core stability. So I think that definitely would be one of the things that everybody needs to learn.
You know, what you said right now reminds me of something I tell a lot of people. I say, listen, please learn to make your life harder. We do so many things to try and make our life easier,
Easier,
right? I
yes.
remember when we were growing up, we didn't have trolleys. We had to carry all our bags everywhere every time we flew. So it was a farmer's carry technically every time we went anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And and if we found a trolley, oh my god, it was amazing that we had a trolley to push, especially at our airports here. All the trolleys were broken, so we never have ever got a good trolley back then. But now we have trolleys in our suitcases. It's
Yeah.
become easier. We've
Yeah.
got ergonomic chairs. Sitting has
Sitting
become easier.
easier.
All these things are slowly destroying our body. So these
100%.
are things that we need to think about.
Yeah, and in fact, I feel like when a lot of my clients travel, their first text to me would be, "Do you know I picked up my suitcase, which was 16 kilos, and I walked up 5 flight of stairs?" And I'm
Woohoo!
like, "Woohoo, you go! That farmer's carry is
Full win.
really paying off."
Yeah.
So, and in fact, even my mom be like, "Your father couldn't pick it up, but I picked it up, and I walked up that entire stair flight of the railway." And I'm like, "Oh my God, you go."
My parents have now started working out, and every time we fly, now I make sure they put their bags
Thanks.
up and I don't help them because it's so easy to do it for them. And the first few times, obviously, they got upset. Like, what son are you? You're not helping us. Till they realized that they can do it themselves. And then they felt strong in
Yeah.
that process. So I think these little things really help. So, one, like you said, was something to do with bracing your core as a
100%.
foundation exercise.
Second thing, which also ties in with what you said, like how we now have like ergonomic chairs that help us sit better, keep a posture better. But I think we should have that capacity. So, a lot to do with your shoulders, stabilizing your shoulders, making them strong enough they're not like continuously rotated. Because now, pretty much all our lives is spent sitting and typing. So, we're like here all the time. So, I think a lot more to do with making sure that your posture is correct and doing things to aid and help that would definitely be another thing.
What do you think about all those posture correctors that you see as advertisements right now?
Advertisements, no. As we said, we definitely need credible people to do that. But posture correction is a full thing, and it's actually super beneficial for people who have like really destroyed their postures by sitting hunched over all the time.
Correct.
So that would definitely be
So
something.
rather than buying a product, do an exercise that is posture controlling.
Always.
So maybe like a face pull, or what kind of a?
Face pulls, and especially like training your shoulder blades, your scapular muscles, those are like really important because we just don't use them. And then everything else we do in the gym is just overcompensating with things that we are already using.
Correct.
So I think that is something that we can definitely focus on. And third thing would be, even from like a sporting point of view, really understanding how your glutes work in a gym through a movement and everything else. Because all of our back pain and all of our knee pain, more or less,
Correct.
is because we don't know how to use that.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of clients come to me and say that, "Oh, my knee is hurting." And 9 out of 10 times, it's not their knee. It's them not knowing how to use their
it.
gluteal muscles, actually firing them up, making them strong. So all of those things I feel is also super important. So those would definitely be the three things that I think people should be training, irrespective of what their goal is, just to have a better quality of life and not enjoy themselves as well.
I keep saying that your knees are blameless. You have to blame your ankle, you have to blame your glutes. These are the two muscles, or two, rather, the joints that you have to focus on,
Yeah.
and your hips and your ankles. And that's where you can solve almost all knee pain. And it's so interesting, Paridhi, when I had first started working out, I was in college and I used to go to the gym, and there was this trainer there, and I used to get this stabbing pain in my knee. He said, you have very bad knees. I don't think you should do squats. And as a result, in my head, it was imprinted that I have bad knees and I should not be doing squats. So that took so many years for me to correct. Just like we are talking about correcting with an exercise and posture correction, etc.
Yeah.
This mental correction was something that was so hard for us to do.
And we've been also talking about journaling, and you've been doing this for such a long time. What do you think would be 3 ways that people could actually start using journaling as a tool in their daily lives?
So one is free flow journaling, to process all the emotions, to process all the thoughts that they have had that they can't figure out what to do with. And we just spoke about it. 15 minutes, just write down all the thoughts that are going through your mind. The second kind is a focused journaling approach, where you get cues or you get questions. This is typically what a therapist would do. They would give you questions and then you would journal on them, you would think about them and answer. You can also use AI platforms right now. So you can tell the AI platform, this is what I'm going through, give me some journaling cues. And they give very, very interesting cues that you can start using. So I've started doing that as well. It has just changed the way that I approach life. And the final way to think about journaling is almost through a manifestation technique. I sometimes write down Ashdin 6.0. And this is what Ashdin 6.0 is going to be like. This is the future of where Ashdin is going and what he's going to be doing and where he's going to be, etc., etc., etc. And it's so beautiful because what you've done is now you've created a new image in your head of yourself. You've created a new identity of yourself in your head. And you keep growing that identity every time you do this journaling. And just like we're talking about compounding, this identity of yours starts compounding and growing into this new avatar that you had no idea about. I think these are 3 beautiful ways in which we can use journaling.
This is so similar of how we talked about of having this goal and then backtracking from it. So you can lay out steps that you can consistently put in your time, your energy, your effort, and then compound that over time to be able to have like an Ashton 6.0.
Action 6.0. It's been such a fun episode that we're talking about physical compounding, mental compounding, financial compounding. How are you growing in all these 3 aspects of life? I think these are 3 aspects that most of us are looking at. Even you as a listener, what are you currently focusing on in life? Let us know in the comments below. And that's it for the first episode together. How was it for you, Paridhi?
It was so much fun, and I feel this was so much more insightful in just knowing everything and learning from your experience of how things have compounded for you and things that I can start today and how I can stay consistent so that it compounds for me at some point of time.
Fantastic. So you've been listening to The Compounding Mindset by Axis Mutual Fund, and see us next week.
If you like the podcast, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and let us know in the comments what is that one habit that you want to start immediately and what is that one habit that you wished you started 10 years ago.
We've all said at some point, I wish I had started earlier. Investing in mutual funds is no different. The cost of delay adds up quietly. Because that's the thing about growth. It isn't dramatic. It's slow, it's boring, it's invisible until it isn't. The habit that seems small today, like an investment in SIP, they become the foundations for the person and the financial future we're building. Starting early isn't about big amounts. It's about showing up. A little today, a little tomorrow. That's how consistency compounds. Mutual funds work in much the same way. They reward those who build the habit of investing regularly, staying patient, and letting time do the heavy lifting. So whether it's your health, your mindset, or your investments, don't wait for that perfect moment. Start with what you have. Start with where you are. Start today. Because the best time to begin was 10 years ago. The second best time is right now. This has been The Compounding Mindset, brought to you by Axis Mutual Fund.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.